That's an awesome intro.
This is Steve with Orlando Collector Deviants, and we are here with the Silverline crew. We have Barbara, Roland, I'm retired, dang it, Kaleberg. We got Roland, I need a haircut, man. And down here we got Scott, I'm not late, it's Roland's fault. Wakefield.
Yeah, right.
And I don't know who else is right there.
Hi, I am Rory Boyle, co-creator, Steam Patriots.
Too handsome for the internet. Rory Boyle.
That's right.
Okay, so that's good. And then, of course, behind the camera, we got Trish. I hate DoorDash Halsey.
Yes, I do today.
What's up, Trish?
Hello.
My question is, do you have a Wonder Woman shirt on today?
No, I have my cussing
Archie?
shirt on today.
No,
Your
she's cussing. Hold on.
Her cussing shirt.
Yeah, stand up real quick, Trish.
Oh.
Says, pardon my French.
Pardon my French.
Yeah.
That's how I feel about DoorDash right now.
Okay, so we got the crew of Silverline like we do every month. What is new this month? Which I put a lot of spoilers in the intro, so
I'm going to tell you
Not
early, and then I'm going to let them cover most of it. New this month, we got a Kickstarter going, Steve. You know this happens every other month, right? Especially since the last 6 months. And I'll tell you a secret: we might end up trying to figure out a way to sneak another one in there because they're stacking up now. We've got to get books out, and so yeah, we might have to try to figure out. So I'm borrowing my son's webcam, and it's gonna bother me the way it. Yeah, thanks. Anyways, yeah, yeah. Oh, thanks a lot. I appreciate that.
I know you saw the message where I said everybody has to have embarrassing stories about Roland and make fun of Roland throughout the whole day.
You know what? I tend to ignore those anymore because I'm used to seeing them, so I just ignore them. So we got the Kickstarter, and dude, it's already made.
Yeah,
it's made. Go, and we are so excited. Matter of fact, it's moving so fast we can't keep up with it. Let me tell you what happened. So Scott and Rory, if you haven't seen it, you need to go watch it. They made this hilarious update video, right? And part of it was hey, we're going to announce this new add-on to get drawn into the book, and I want to say the number was like 94 or 96 or something like that. Yeah. And so either they're sitting around and they're smoking their pipes and hey, we need like 6 more people to get to 100. By the time I posted it, we had 101 backers.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like and Barb was like, we're gonna have to move our stretch goals out to 5,500 because we've already made 5,000. We've already made the first 500. I'm like, no, we announced it last night, but just barely.
Yeah.
Yeah, we announced that there was going to be stretch goals last night. And today we already hit the first stretch goal.
Yep.
So
Yeah.
And
that's because everybody loves a bookmark. You know that.
Yeah.
And now the bar has been set pretty high because the last stream we were on, the guy pledged while we were.
Yeah.
Oh, that's
So
nice.
thank you, Sci-Fi Diner podcast. He
Yeah.
pledged while we were blabbing.
Let's
Thank
go.
you.
Did you see it?
What's
Is his name David Sellers?
David,
That's
yeah,
it.
yeah.
He pledged.
He said he was inspired by
Yeah,
it.
yeah,
I'm
Nice.
Oh Lord, we're touching hearts and minds.
But he's late to the show because I was on within the first day.
Good man. Thank you.
That's right. You're right.
Thank you.
Steve's always so what you guys probably don't know, Steve got mad at me once before because he's like, man, I'm always trying to get number one, but you know, we've been doing our secret launches, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
But here's the thing, right? So I tell Steve, I said, Steve, we're gonna launch on Wednesday night. Right. So it's not a secret from you anymore. The first time you missed it, you're like, oh, it's coming on Thursday, and then it's already like, hey, it's like so.
Yeah,
What number were you this time, Steve? Do you remember?
I don't know because I actually got it on the day because I was busy that Wednesday when it went live. So
we're spoiled on the Wednesday show. Our Wednesday we get to sneak it in there.
Right.
Yeah.
And we tease it, and then it goes live. Roland sends us the message, and so.
Yeah, we have a secret launch.
And Barb was cool enough to join the Wednesday show not yesterday, but last week when we launched it, and it was fun. It was a fun night to announce the launch. And Rory and I are very, very humbled to be teamed up with Barb's book. It's Divinity is an awesome story. So,
Well, thank you. I think I'm excited about Steam Patriots because I am history. Every time I hear the word history, I'm gonna do a shot.
Yep, you're gonna take.
That's funny.
So should I bring up controversy on this show?
Oh, sure.
Hold on 1 second. Let me do the two comments that we came in. We got John Neville who said hi or hello. And then we got Boris who says hello to the greatest web show and the best comic company in the world.
Boris.
I introduced Boris to Roland, so
Yes, you did.
I'm happy with that.
You introduced us at your show, even at Olo. Which is the best comic show in Orlando.
It's going to be moving locations this next year.
Do you have a location yet?
We are in the midst of discussing what the location.
Gotcha. Yeah, I know the plague has messed all kinds of people up because the Daytona show is actually not in Daytona this year, which is kind of funny.
Well, it wasn't the plague that screwed it up. It was a greedy venue owner.
Really?
Yeah.
You would think after the plague he would be like super eager to accommodate.
Yeah, you would think.
Oh no. Well, he was as long as we paid double the money.
So that's not very eager to accommodate.
No.
So we found someplace and for less than what he wanted for twice as much room.
Oh, nice.
Ooh.
So I can't say any names yet, so because I don't want to jinx it.
Right. Yeah. Knock on wood and all that kind of stuff.
So Roland, controversy.
Yep.
So I heard on the radio today, apparently some woman has written a book called 1619, in which she says that see if I can get it right. So that basically the United States was founded. I mean, literally, like not just kind of like we talk in sort of broad strokes, but it's like literally the United States was founded because of racism. So, and apparently a bunch of historians have said no, don't do this. It's wrong and ignore her. But there's a couple of states that have taken her book and put it into their high school textbooks.
Wow.
So
this is Roland. It's a hot topic. So.
It is. Yeah, that's why I was like, yeah. But my first thought was
that's why he waited till my show because nobody cares.
Well, my first thought was when I heard it I was doing errands after PJ's interviews, and I was actually probably picking up Japanese food is what I was doing. And that's when I heard it. I'm like, what the heck? And of course, they were talking about there's historians from several universities have said, no, this is revisionist history and blah 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 blah. But apparently it's actually going in high school textbooks in some states. So
yeah, that's a big topic.
My first thing, I know 1619 is a long way from 1776. But that was my I was like, oh, really? It's the history. Steam Patriots.
Yeah. I don't know where to go from there.
Probably no. It's probably best to just let me just shut up now.
Well, going on that, Boris has been spreading the word about Silverline and O.C.D. to everyone who will listen, but apparently it's called breaking and entering, and the police look down on that.
Boris,
that's our kind of guy.
keep doing what you're doing.
That's right.
Get the word out.
Just remember when the cameras look at you, say, "Make mine Silverline."
Yeah.
Does Boris have a wristband? Let's get him a wristband. Yeah,
He does.
Boris, you're going to get a patch. We got to get you a patch for.
That's right.
For
So,
Steam.
Roland, where's Daytona moving to?
Just right down the road to a little place called DeLand. Yeah. I mean, if you're from out of town, you won't really know the
That's what
difference,
I was gonna say.
except that it's it's like 15 more minutes from the beach.
More like a half hour from the beach.
Okay, fine. I'm trying to get the beach people here, right?
If it's south of the Mason-Dixon, for me, it's all one big blurry blob.
Well, I'm in Wisconsin, so everything is south of Illinois.
Right, Illinois.
So yeah, I did get your email about coming down for that, and we are discussing it.
Okay, cool.
Is the better half invited too?
Sure.
I
He
mean,
must behave himself.
if we drive, I can't do it all by myself.
Yeah, we'll talk.
Okay.
Make
right.
Roland pay for that shit.
Right.
Well, last year.
Hey, if
before-
VJ gets a job, I might actually be able to afford, 2 gallons of milk a week.
An extra box of ramen noodles.
That's right. She might let me have the raisin brand and not just the brand.
Just the brand.
last year before COVID really hit, I was booked for 2 conventions a month, and Wizard World was sponsoring me all over the country. And so that's what. Yeah, that's that's another topic. So I mean, that was like 15, 16 conventions, more than that I had scheduled. And I made it to the Ohio Wizard World.
I hear a cardinal.
That's me. I have
Okay.
my windows open.
I'm like,
I'll have to go to that.
That's pretty good.
I hear a cardinal.
That's I have two sets in the backyard. But
Sorry,
anyway, we
go
made it to Ohio in March, and then everything fell apart, and I had to cancel every single one of my cons last year. So that was disappointing. I had all this country tour was planned. Yes, that's still the cardinal.
I know. I'm not saying anything.
Boris says it's kind of awkward to talk about cat and mouse and Kalis when the family is hiding in the bathroom yelling, "Just take what you want and leave us alone." But he tries to spread the good word.
Boris, we appreciate your initiative.
Boris, just slide an issue under the door. Let him know what's coming.
I'm working on number 4 now. Cat and mouse.
Yes.
And in the news today, a Florida man.
Florida man.
It's always a Florida man.
Yes,
I
it
was
is.
only recently made aware of Florida man.
Oh man.
See, there's Boris, guys. You guys probably haven't seen Boris, but that's Boris.
I like that. Let's.
Every time I hear that, I think of Boris the spider.
Yeah. Creepy crawly, creepy
That's
crawly,
right.
crawly.
All right, let's talk about Steam Patriots.
Okay.
You guys go first.
We talk about Steam. Okay. You haven't watched my show before. We can start talking about Steam Patriots, and we'll go back to about history and students' books and educational. And as long as we don't go into anal leakage again, we're good.
Oh,
No.
I will tell you, there's none of that in Steam Patriots issue number 1. None of that.
But,
We can confirm-
but look out for issue number 2. There
Who
might
knows
be.
what's going to happen?
I can't get us kicked off or anything. We're talking about demon sex this time.
Oh,
No.
Yeah, Barb, you're notorious.
Barb, you're the show killer. We know
I
it.
know.
So you get your Princess of Darkness crown.
Do we want to talk about? Is that where we're going? Steam Patriots? Do we need a? Are we talking about that?
Yeah.
Yeah,
All right.
I'll do the picture that Roland sent me.
Yeah. What is it?
Yeah.
And how did it come about?
So Steam Patriots. Yeah. Oh,
Oh,
color.
it's colored now. Hey,
I haven't seen that.
No, you haven't.
That's
And it needs work, but that was just a really quickie for
Yeah.
the show.
Yeah. So that is variant cover number 3. So Steam Patriots. Rory and I were in the Coast Guard together, stationed in beautiful Buffalo, New York.
And I'm sorry. Coast
Hey,
Guard, yeah.
sunny,
Some
beautiful.
of us can't be real military. It's okay.
Make it. All right. Good night. Good night. Rory and I were stationed together in Buffalo, and we were. Rory and I are strangely similar brothers from another mother, and we were talking about the steampunk world and how it pretty much is Victorian England. And but in the steampunk world, it's an established technology. They've got balloons and airships and locomotives and all this sort of stuff. And we said, well, it has to start somewhere. And if it's going to start somewhere, why not be the greatest country on earth, America? And let's back it up chronologically and put it right smack dab in the middle of the American Revolution. And if we're going to do that, why don't we pick a name that everybody knows to be vital to the steampunk world, the steam technology world? So we made Ben Franklin
Granddaddy of steampunk.
Yeah, not the inventor of the steam engine. We didn't want to take away from Watt and Lycoming, and there are other names.
Mm-hmm.
So we made Ben Franklin tweak the steam engine, and it started becoming a ubiquitous technology. The Franklin boilers were used for pumps and boiler carriages and mills, and so by the time the revolution is happening, this technology is present, but it's still very, very raw, rudimentary.
In its infancy,
yeah,
it's only slightly more effective than actually riding a horse and carriage.
Right. So yeah, having a horse still might be more the better choice, but a lot of levers and a lot of smoke and a lot of steam, not very efficient.
Burned clutches.
Yeah. Well, yeah. So then we created a fictional hero, and we didn't want to take away from the real accomplishments of real people in the war, because we didn't want to. Some people did real things. We didn't want to take that away. So we tried to look for bits of history that were either the history is vague or it's not well documented,
more esoteric,
yeah, or just a kind of an obscure bit of history. So we wanted to let our hero Felix follow that kind of line of history. So we weren't stealing from real history, and it follows actual events.
And technology, because the more research we did, we realized how much of this technology was in existence at the time, just not mass produced. It was too expensive to make these things. Yeah. There was a patent for a Gatling gun in merry old England, but they couldn't afford to make them en masse, which is why you didn't see them for another 100 years.
So we grab that technology. We do take some liberties with technology, and our hero Felix he's a 15-year-old kid who's got a really great memory for details. So that's kind of his superpower. And in the beginning of the story, he gets some information that is vital for if the British get a hold of this, it could be they could undo everything. So he's in a tight spot in the beginning of the story, and he has to run off and he finds some help. There we go. That's the opening scene. We've got August of 1776, real history. The British had some 300 plus ships in New York Harbor, and they decide we're coming ashore. And so the story opens with that scene, with that's happening. Nothing happened. A lot of things it was a lot slower back then. It took a while. They had all these boats coming ashore. So our story opens with that bit of drama, and then Felix Felix is kind of swept up into all of it, and he has to get some information to some important people, and he's imperiled while he does it, and that's the beginning of the Steam Patriots world. And if it's successful, Silverline has planned the first 4 issues, and if it's successful, we'd like to just keep going, create the Steam Patriots world. If it's, we could just carry it through 1781, through the Barbary Wars, through the War of 1812. Rory and I would just if we could just keep creating this world, and it'd be epic, and it would be the best thing ever.
So true story.
Yeah.
You talk about your steam carriages being only maybe slightly more than horse and buggy. So I have bootleggers in my family, believe it or not. And
I'm shocked.
Yeah, and the so you all heard me say before, my family lives so close to they're in Arkansas, but they live so close to the Missouri state line. You can spit in it north, throw a rock in it east, right? Yeah. My grandfather is one of 12. Okay. So he's the baby. So some of the older ones were, alive during the Prohibition times, and what happened during this time when it was illegal. It was they were at church. Everyone's sitting in the church. The windows are open because they're out in the country. They have no air conditioning, all that kind of stuff. Fanning themselves. Federal agents enter the church. My grandfather's brothers jump out the windows, run to their horse-drawn carriage. Yeah. The federal agents jump in their car.
Yeah. Oh, wow.
And the race is on, right? This would be my great uncles beat the federal agents to the state line. Yes. And basically the horse-drawn buggy crosses the state line, and of course they jump out of the buggy and go nah, 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 right?
I've been on the wrong side of that shit.
But they in a horse-drawn buggy, they outran
that's
the Federals in a car.
That's awesome.
Can I parlay in my anecdote? I was stationed on a 210-foot cutter down in the Caribbean, and we had intel about to go fast, carrying drugs, and dead of night, like into the morning. And so we launched one of our small boats off the big ship, and we start following this go fast. And they had gone into the mangroves in some little island in the middle of nowhere, and they offloaded all the drugs into canoes and went further inland. And our little small boat still had too deep of a draft to follow. So we called the locals. They're like, "Your problem now."
Yeah. And they're in those canoes going, nah, nah, nah.
So Boris, puddle pirates. No, they were puddle jumpers, is what we used to call them.
We will wear that name
because I'm naval submarine, so we were.
Nice.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Well done.
So we were right there in Groton, close to you guys. So we always made fun of y'all when we went to the mall.
Yeah, of course.
Well, I'm a military mom, so
that's right.
Groton. Did they have hogs in Groton?
What's that?
I said, did they have hogs in Groton? Hog Groton?
Thanks, Dad.
The Coast Guard Academy is there. And,
Well, see, it was funny.
Grandfathers, no.
Yeah, Boris says you have 12 grandfathers.
Oh, I have one grandfather, and he has 11 siblings.
Now, see, the Coast Guard Academy is there in Groton, and we used to make fun of them because they were not allowed to go into town unless they were in their dress.
Yeah.
And we were there for sub school, and I was stationed there. So we got to go into town all the time. So it was like you could spot them just a mile away. And we gave them all kinds of crap for not being real military.
When my son graduated from basic, he's Air Force, 16 years now. He's a master sergeant.
Careful.
We went down to his graduation down in San Antonio, and this strange guy who I would never have recognized, which was my son. We were walking down the street, and he's walking in military precision. We'd come to a corner, and instead of on the sidewalk, instead of just walking around the corner, he'd do the military on his heel. I was like, wow, that was a good training.
Ingrained.
Yeah.
Every once in a while, I still don't carry stuff in my right hand with a thought I have to salute.
Right. Yeah.
I stuff in my left. I'll carry in my left hand, but who am I?
Yeah.
I'm not gonna salute somebody.
Well, it's the same of going outdoors without a hat. I mean,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
You
man,
check.
I can't do it.
Gotta check the lid.
Yep.
Yep. So Boris says his alter ego was a Marine, and Fensterberger complains all the time that his crayons are missing.
Well, then you'll like Zach in Divinity because he's a Marine.
Uh-huh.
Mm-hmm.
I got a Marine in my book. So he's
We might throw little tease. We might throw a little John Paul Jones in.
Ooh, nice.
Again, if it's successful, so people want to see these stories,
Yep.
but back our project because we want to keep the world going. There's so many amazing stories at this time in America's history.
Oh, I want to see a steampunk Jolly Roger.
Did once, but I'm gonna do
yeah.
the whole feature.
And over in the comments, you can see Trish already put up the Kickstarter.
Cool.
Thank
So-
you, Trish.
And
You're welcome.
you don't have to yell; she's still right there.
I know, but I can't see her. So I feel like I got to talk
Pulling up
louder.
the fast food window.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like it better.
It's kind of like, wait a minute, can you repeat that? I didn't have my glasses on. I
Right.
couldn't hear
Yeah. Sorry, I can't hear you.
Or turning down the radio when you're trying to find an address.
Yeah.
you. Right, yeah.
Quiet, don't talk. The kids in the back seat.
Yeah.
We're constantly picking up the remote when the phone rings.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Don't give me that look.
Yeah, we hit all the phones today because of the Zoom. So we were standing here talking. After it was all over, we were standing here talking. I'm like, "What's that noise?" And I realized that she had taken the phones, all of our phones, and put them in our bedroom, and where she had her interview was at the opposite ends of the house. Right? She took all of her phones, put them in our bed, under the pillow, under the cover.
Just in case you can hear it vibrate.
Right. Yeah.
That's what we do when the grandkids are sleeping. Wake them up! God, I just want 5 minutes apiece.
When they go to bed,
Well-
put the TV on low, put the subtitles on.
Yep.
Yeah.
I shut my phone down for the show every week, and I always forget to turn it back on. So the next day, it's like, and I can't find where I put my phone. I'll tell Trish, call it so I can find it, but it's shut off. So it's
So
like,
it doesn't matter.
nope.
And you need one of the clappers to make it chirp.
Yeah.
Well, I need another phone so I can do Find My Phone.
Right.
My watch does that.
Oh, your watch does that.
Yeah, I got a cool watch.
I got a cooler watch. I can make phone calls.
Yeah, good point.
You got a Dick Tracy
Yeah.
watch, don't you?
I do. It's a get
Nice.
smart. You know, I can sit here and I can call Roland. I can say, put on there, call Roland. It'll call you. You'll look at it and say, who the hell is this? I ain't answering.
Mine does it too. Well, it always says mom, and I.
The only calls he gets on that is scam calls.
Oh,
Yes.
you
But
know,
I love answering it. Hello, you are calling my watch. How may I help you?
I heard my husband downstairs today answering the phone. He goes, "Well, I'm fine, thank you. Thank you for asking." Hang up. So I know it was a scam call.
Well, with my new job, I usually don't answer numbers I don't know. But with my new job, there's so many people that have numbers I don't know. So I have to answer every single one.
Oh, no.
And it's like at least twice a day, my extended warranty.
Yeah,
comes by.
Yes,
Did you update your warranty? Good. Good.
exactly. That one always comes through.
Or
That-
your Amazon tracking has been changed. Yeah, the packages.
yeah,
That and another one that comes up constantly is a VoIP caller.
A what?
yeah.
The VoIP caller, VoIP VoIP caller.
VoIP.
My favorite one is the IRS, and then when you get over to them, they're not English-speaking people.
We will come get you right now if you don't pay. You must pay. We will come get you. We are on the way. You will be in jail. Do you want to be in jail? Actually, they're not Asian.
They're not.
I don't know.
No, they're going to say they're not Asian.
No, but that's like the only accent I can do.
I have gotten some calls of Chinese talking, like a robo Chinese call. I'm like,
oh, really?
Very strange.
Yeah.
Yeah, with the music in the background.
No, just Chinese.
Just I don't understand a word of it.
You know, I just don't understand how people could get a telephone call like that and send people money.
I don't either.
I have no comprehension.
I don't either. I don't. You know, we've seen an increase in actual door knocking solicitors.
Really?
I think in the last 2 weeks we've had 5 or 6.
How many new vacuums have you bought?
How many what?
New vacuums have you bought?
No, they're all trying to sell
siding or windows or
yes, windows, roofs, and pest control.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely.
But see, Roland's about
I'm
like 2
getting mad
years
at him
away
now.
from falling for these scams.
Good point.
No, I'm not.
There's one that's going around here trying to sell you a solar system for the roof of your house. They'll save you thousands and thousands of dollars. Yeah, but it costs you $50,000 to install.
So you know this one pest guy, right? So I open the door and I see a shirt. I'm already mad, right? It's the first thing I see a shirt. I'm mad, right? And he said, "Hey, I'm so and so. Do you know so and so your neighbor?" And he lifts off some names of people, right? And he said, "You know your neighbors?" I'm like, "No, I'm sorry, I don't know them." He said, "We're trying to help them out." He said, we're doing their pest control," and I'm like, "And they would like you to help them," and I'm like, "They want me to pay for their pest control?" And he goes, No. I said, "Oh, you're trying to sell me pest control," and he said, "No, they were just thinking that since they're having theirs done, that maybe some of their neighbors would want theirs done." I said, "Oh, they're going to pay for my pest control?" And he said, No. I said, "So you're trying to sell me pest control?" "Well, we're just trying to help out your neighbors." And it just got worse from there till finally BJ, who was sitting on the couch in the living room and could hear everything, she said, "Just shut the door."
Barb, I gotta tell you, we thought you said selling souls.
Sell your soul.
That too.
That's extreme.
Yes.
I'm Dr. Mephisto.
Now I got to ask Scott and Rory a question.
Okay.
How long did it take you to get somebody to back your Kickstarter on your last interview show that you were just on?
Oh,
Well, it lasted about 45 minutes, so about the half hour mark.
yeah, half
I
hour.
think.
Yeah.
Okay, well I got you somebody quicker than that.
Okay.
So Boris back to
Thank you.
Kickstarter,
Good, sir.
signed the paper with Finsterberger's credit card. So Boris got.
All right, yeah, you win the prize. I think.
Thank you.
There you go. Hey, the best
we did just get a backer.
Yes.
Yeah.
So
Thank you.
Much
I
appreciated.
will tell you the best one is when me and Roland did the show live in Versus Comics, and we pulled somebody in out of the mall to back it.
That is good.
Yeah.
It's aggressive selling.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do it now.
We thought about going to the cons with the sticker or the patch saying, "If you back now, we'll give you
a
this."
sticker.
Listen, that's a great incentive because that's the kind of thing I think is great for the live when you're trying to sell them live.
Yeah.
Have something that they can get right there on the spot. None of the other backers
shot.
None of the other backers can get it, right? So it's a little extra incentive for them. I was like, "Hey, we got this sticker you can only have if you back it now."
It makes it less of a cold sell. Yeah.
Yes, right.
We're gonna be.
Unless you're me, and then I whine to Roland, "Why didn't I get this? Why wasn't it available to me?"
Yeah, it's like I didn't get a bookmark.
I want the goodies. Yeah, so we're up just east of Buffalo, so Pittsburgh is not far away. We're gonna go hopefully down on Saturday. The plan is we're gonna go to the Three Rivers Comic Con and try to get people try to force people to back our comic
Right.
down there. We'll put them in headlocks and give them noogies until they do.
I can give you a couple of target names too.
Okay,
Oh, yeah, all right.
good.
Because I think there's one or two people I know who will be there, and I'll have to review my list because I don't think one of them has backed.
Oh,
He has backed our Kickstarters in the past.
so
So
we take the list on a clipboard and look for their name.
oh yeah. I'm sorry, you're not on the list.
Is
Oh,
it
yeah.
a mistake?
Come on, it's gotta have- It's gotta have Divinity number 2. Come on.
Yeah. And so then,
see,
and then Sunday we're gonna come back up to New York and go to the Buffalo Comic Con.
Is it Buffalo or is it Nickel?
No, it is Buffalo.
Buffalo,
Yeah.
sorry.
Email.
There's a couple.
Email. He owns Queen City Bookstore. They've been around for a long time. So we're gonna head there and again put people in headlocks and give them swirlies.
Yeah, and I don't see them on the list. You had said something to me about it. I don't see them on the list. So work on them.
Yeah,
Oh,
we
yeah.
can do that. We can do that.
And whoever doesn't want to listen, we're gonna stealth it and throw business cards in people's bags.
Yep. Yep. Back pockets, shirt fronts. Yeah.
Reverse thieves.
So Boris has a couple more comments for you guys.
Of
Pest
course.
control don't come to the master's house. Boris kept a guy busy for an hour asking him when they would deliver the bugs after he paid for them and if he can pick up the type. Now the best one is what I like. The next one is Boris will upgrade his pledge if you do an online bonus, including nude pictures of Ernest Borgnine asking for a friend.
Ernest Borg. Now, are we talking like Flight of the Phoenix, Ice Station Zebra, Ernest Borgnine, or are we talking later on Ernest Borgnine, like when he's voicing Mermaid Man? Which Ernest
Side
Borgnine?
adventure.
I love Ernest Borgnine. I love him. I love Ernest Borgnine. Yeah.
Is he still alive?
No.
I didn't think so. I'm like,
A couple years ago.
okay.
He passed. Yeah.
I kind of thought so.
Yeah. Just on this board. Good reference. Now, when he said the master, he wasn't talking about. I missed that. I must have missed it. He wasn't talking about like Manos, the Hands of Fate, the master, was he? That's a obscure reference.
No, Boris is the master's servant, chauffeur, butler, all that kind of stuff.
So like I'm going deep here, like Torgo from Manos, the Hands of Fate. If you've not watched the Mystery Science Theater episode, it's pure gold.
Or Renfield.
Who's
Renfield,
that?
yeah.
Renfield.
Oh, to Airwolf Born. Oh man, Boris, I love you, man. This is
Airwolf born. Okay. Yeah, I used to watch that religiously.
Airwolf. Love it. I love it. Good stuff.
All right. Time for Divinity. I'm
Yes.
gonna push Divinity. All right.
I want to ask, do you actually have an award they sent you?
It's a digital award. It's a digital award that I can display online. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's
High gloss frame.
We were
Yes.
disappointed. We thought we were going to
a
actually
little
get
statuette.
a little thing. Because Barb kept saying, have they sent it yet? Have they sent it yet? Have they sent it yet? And I'm like, no, they haven't
It's
sent
in
it
your
yet. No,
inbox.
I don't have one.
It's in the mail?
And she finally sent me a message and she said, oh, here it is. And it was a JPEG.
But we can slap it on the Kickstarter there.
Yes,
So,
that's right.
yeah. I won the best new comic series of 2020 by the Independent Comics Awards. Best new indie comic of 2020, I should say. So I mean that was very nice.
Yeah,
though. I put a
very
lot of
nice.
work into Divinity #1. It's been a passion project of mine. It's about an 11-year-old girl who develops mysterious healing powers. She has a near-death experience, and when she is revived by her mother, she can heal. And somewhere along the way, her parents are killed, and her older brother, half-brother, he's 26 and she's 11, so they're very far apart in age. He's doing his second tour in the Marines, and he gets a hardship discharge, actually against his will, because he really, really didn't want to leave the Marines, to come back and care for her because he's her only living relative. And while he's back, he starts to investigate that's Zach. He starts to investigate the mysterious death of his father and stepmother, and discovers Vinny's healing powers. And we end the issue number 1 with Black Ops guys bursting into the door, to the front door, apparently looking for Vinny because they want to get their hands on her. And the second issue takes off from there. It's trying to figure out who is after Vinny, why they're after Vinny, and how they can keep Vinny safe. And Zach will hook up with his one of his old ex-Marine buddies, Olivia Barnes, and she will be helping Zach take care of Divinity, or keep her safe. That's Olivia right there.
Cool.
Yep.
Sorry, it takes me a minute to go through and try to find them. So
Yeah, that's fine. That's fine. The big question.
A 4 issue plan as well, correct?
What?
Oh, you have 4 planned out?
Yes, 4 issues planned, and it leaves it very open at the end of it, because I kind of foresee this as an old type road show type of adventure where they've got an overarching main villain, but they're on the run from the main villain, and along the way they run into adventures and bad guys and good guys. And we had touched on here a few days ago the possibility of them coming to New Orleans and having a crossover event with Cat and Mouse and a couple of other Silverline superheroes that are New Orleans based. So that was an idea. It's gotten the great reviews. It's gotten reviews from Kevin Van Hook, who's the creator of Bloodshot.
Yep. Yeah.
With Vin Diesel, he loved it. Maggie Thompson gave it a glowing review. That was issue 1, so it'll be better, even better still with issue 2. So I'm very excited. This has been
confirm. I've read it, and very, very good. Issue 2 is awesome.
It is a passion project of mine. It's if we're going to get a little sad here, but the impetus behind the story is that 3 years ago, my brother was diagnosed with metastatic lung cancer, and it was very hard news to take. We're very close. My sister and my brother and I are the 3 musketeers, and we always have been. And in my desperation to do anything to find a cure for his cancer, I dreamed up Vinny one night in a dream. I remembered it all the next day, down to the last detail. And my conscious tells me now that in my subconscious, Divinity was the protagonist who could heal, and the antagonist, the bad guys, was my desperation, because I would literally have done anything to save my brother, even unsavory things. Unfortunately, that didn't happen, and he passed away. But he was the muse for the entire series, and this next issue will dedicate that to him, because he just passed in December. So it's very passionate. I'm very passionate about the project, and I think it can bring something for everybody, because not only do we have the adventure and the violence and the guns and the bad guys, but we've got the mystery of the healing, which is kind of fantasy based. And then we have a relationship, because we've got a 26-year-old Marine who's having to deal with an 11-year-old girl, and he is completely out of his depth. He would rather be dodging bombs in Kandahar than dealing with a tween having a hissy fit. So it's going to be an adventure watching those guys become a family.
Yeah, Barbara, I can reiterate, you've created a great story world where you've got a little bit of the supernatural, her healing power, but it's all couched and surrounded by great characters that you can identify with. A young person who has now her entire world against her, older brother who has to deal with a young person
that he barely knows,
and they have to deal with each other, and then bringing in this friend that is trying to maybe like fix this relationship and help
mediate.
them. Mediate. Yeah. So you created great characters. That's what it makes it such a great story that people can be drawn into the world with the realism that they can identify with these characters, even across the genders, male, female, young, old. They can identify with the characters, but then you've got that extra that they can that makes it a story. Makes it more than just life. Makes it a story, and you haven't quite said really what you haven't revealed it all, which is fantastic. So people have to keep reading to know where is this all going, where did it all come from. It's awesome. It's awesome. Great job.
Thank you very much.
Now Boris has a question, a real question for all you guys.
Okay.
He says you guys do more with your comics in 1 to 4 issues than most companies do with their regular monthly release. Is it just a money issue with making and releasing comics, or do you just like doing limited issues?
No, we're just better.
I think it's because we don't know how long we're going to be able to take something because we're independent. We don't know if something's going to take off. We don't have the corporate backing,
right,
to play around with. Say Marvel and DC, they've got plenty of corporate money that they can sample things with. They can experiment. Well, we'll give this. And I've been there. I've been there with DC. We're going to give this 10 issues. If it doesn't do anything in 10 issues, we'll pull the plug. Well, we made it to like 17 issues, and then they pulled the plug on Primal Force. But they have the money to play around with something like that. We don't.
Yeah. When I approached Roland with Steam Patriots too, he said, there's no way he can commit to an open-ended story. There's no way. Like, we're going to if we just keep putting up a lame storyline, we're not going to. But it's got to be awesome. Mm-hmm. It's got to be really good, and it's got to come. There has to be an arc that can be. If it's not amazing, it's got to end, and we don't know, or if it's just not popular, it doesn't take off. So be it, and that Silverline can't. They can't have a loss leader. They can't have something that fails. So Silverline's taking a chance on every title because.
And if it doesn't reach out and grab you, we're going to lose our audience.
Yeah.
And we can't afford to do that. We're too small to lose any of our readers. So we really have to reach out and grab them in the few issues that we get out, in the hope that we build an audience for that issue or that particular book, and then we can go on.
Yeah.
And go ahead.
Sorry, I was saying it's saying something that we're 11 for 11 now, and a lot of them have gone to their second, third issues. So I hope we're getting that fan base. I hope that's building up.
And I think with this model, especially in the indie world, you can't have that lethargy or that kind of okay, well, we can do a dud. We can have a dud issue, or we can
ride coattails.
Right. We can maybe do something that's. No, we've got to be on, and it's got to be awesome all the time, because we can't do otherwise because we can't afford it. And Roland has been also great about no, you've got to change this story. Like, great characters, great this, but then this moment you've got to you've got to make it. You've got to dial it in. It's got to be on point all the time. And so,
for instance, I have a monthly pull of the Avengers. And the current storyline sucks.
Yeah.
All right. But, I like the storyline before, and then they kind of made their way into this storyline. And I know this one's kind of come to an end, so I'm hoping that the next one is better.
Right.
Because they can do that.
Yep.
So they can have a sucky storyline because they have a built-in fan base that's going to hang around for, for the next storyline. We don't.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
We got to hit it we have to hit the ground running and come out of the gates.
Well, and two, I think one of the things for me, taking all this into consideration and kind of answering Boris's question, is that, for me, I like to look at these as, all right, you know what? And now I hope not. So I don't assume it, but this 4-issue miniseries of Trumps I'm doing might be the only Trumps that I get to tell. So I want to pack it and make it the best possible story that I can make. And so I hope I can communicate that to Scott and Rory for Steam Patriots. Look, this might be the only 4 issues we get.
Right.
I don't know.
Exactly.
I don't know. I mean, if I could answer those questions, I would be, a millionaire living beside Trump in Mar-a-Lago, probably, but I'm not. So we have to treat them like, this might be the only chance we get. So let's tell a great story. And if people like it enough, well then, okay, we'll come back and do another one.
Right. Yeah. Right. And you're taking a chance on us. And it's you don't know. It could be a great story too, but maybe just doesn't get traction, or it does. So yeah, we completely. You were straightforward. Yeah. We'll commit to 4 and see where it goes.
And we put our heart and souls into these.
Yes.
Years of it.
Yeah.
I mean, and I spent 30 years as a freelancer for hire. So there's a difference between doing a job you're hired to do. I mean, even though I put my best effort in every single time, and having everything riding on you, I was a part of a chain. Right. I was an inker for 30 years. So I was a part of an assembly line process. And now with Divinity, I'm chief cook and bottle washer for the whole thing. It's a lot of pressure, but it's also invigorating. I decided when I hit 60, I decided if I was going to ever push the envelope and leave my safety net of inking behind, I needed to get off my duff and do something. And my brother's cancer was just the impetus to do that. But I also not only created, I learned to color as well. And I had, for years I had said, well, I only do real art, physical art on the drawing board, which is sitting right over there. I don't believe in digital art. That's not real art. Well, yeah, I changed my tune pretty darn fast. Because I got an iPad and I was just gone. I can ink 3 times as fast. I learned coloring for the first time in my life. So now I'm not only an inker, but I'm a writer, a creator, and a colorist. And I am having the time of my life. I feel like a kid.
So Barb, you 20 years ahead of your plan, right? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah.
Yeah, good.
So Steve, one of the things that Scott didn't mention is when he first pitched it, he asked me, and his question was something like, "Are you taking submissions?" And I went, "No, I'm not." I'm like, "No, I don't want to see anything." But it's like, so I answered that, right? And I'm like, Scott was one of my students. He was one of the good students, right? And that's, there's a whole bunch of them come through here, and I know none of them are listening, but maybe 1 or 2 of them, right? And there's just a few of them that I even remember after they're gone. And I'm like, he was one of the good students, so I need to at least look at it and then tell him no. Right? that was my whole thought. I was like, well, no, we can't do it, but I like him, and he was a good student, so I'm gonna look at it. And then I read it, and I'm like, holy crap, I like this. Dead gummit, man. So I sent him this message. Okay, here's the deal. Here's what we got to do. This guy's like, okay, man, we'll do it. I'm like, really? I thought you were going to say no.
Yeah, and I think when Roland told me I could do Divinity, I think he was just throwing me a bone. Yeah. Because I was in on the ground floor of Silverline. I'm the CFO. I do all the accounting. And I was inking a good share of the books. And we've known each other for 30 years. So he's like, yeah, okay, put something together. And I think maybe he was.
No. So here's no, because I loved your approach. Your approach was this, I got a story to tell, but I'm not a scripter, and I need some help with that. I want some help. And I'm like, okay, we'll find you someone. and that you're good with, and then we'll move forward. Now I kind of had some ideas of who it might be just because of our common past, right?
Mhm.
But I'm like, we'll find you someone, and so I felt comfortable that you weren't. I mean, it wasn't gonna be something I would go, oh no, we're doing Divinity again, And so I was like, no, let's do it, let's make it happen, and that's how we got RA on board, and
then you said, well, now go find your penciler.
yeah. I said, okay, that was the easy part. I said, now finding the penciler is going to be hard. And she found someone she found Alex within like 2 or 3 weeks. I mean, it was fast.
Yeah, it came out of the blue. I had taken a deep dive into deviant art, which is an absolute cesspool. And I came out like a week later and like, where have I been?
I don't know if you remember, you had tossed me a couple of names of people. You're like, I've talked to them a little bit. I've talked to this person a little bit. I'm like, either one of those would be great. And then you said, okay, this guy emails me out of the blue, and you send me his pages. I'm like, holy crap! And I remember you telling me that he said something like, I've always wanted to work with you. And I said, why not now? Right?
Exactly.
And that's what Barb said. Well, what about now? And he's like, okay.
He friended me on Facebook, and he private messaged me. He goes, I've always been a fan of yours, and it's one of my greatest dreams to work with you someday. So I went to his Facebook page, and I looked at his artwork, and I was like, whoa!
It's like, holy crap.
Come on right now. And I had my penciler.
And his art is we've talked about it on Wednesday. It's just a classic comic book, and he does simple, but then the close-ups of faces and stuff, it's great. He has expression, and I think it's his comic book, and I mean it as a compliment. It's
I know,
comic book art, and it's awesome, and
Yeah.
They're expressive, and it's sometimes very simple, but in a great way. I love simple. I love the simple comic book art, and then what he can do with just a few lines is awesome. Love it. I love it.
Yeah, he's got really clean, classic lines.
Yeah.
And it's exactly what I needed for Divinity, because it's not an ultra villain and superhero comic book.
It's people.
Yeah, so it didn't need to have ultra villains. I mean, there's enough real villains in the real world.
Yeah.
To make it work. So I didn't want a superhero look on the book.
Yeah.
I wanted something that was easily relatable to everybody.
Yeah, that's a great word. It's all very relatable.
Mm-hmm.
Now, Boris says everything Boris reads really grabbed his interest and made him wanting more. Your ability to pick great stories really defines you as a great indie company, and it's a damn shame that there's not a big company or rich guy funding your business.
Well, if I ever win the lottery,
Right. Yeah.
You gotta find some factor.
I am becoming the silent partner to Silverline. I'm funding it.
Rich old widow with a bad cough.
Yeah. I keep telling people I'm always on the lookout for a sugar mama. So,
Well, if BJ gets one of those jobs she interviewed for,
yeah.
I mean, there is a few indie companies out there that do. That's the way they started. They had a rich mommy and daddy or something like that, and that they funded them. And
these guys all know I come from a family of farmers, so there's no rich mommy and daddies.
What about the bootleg money?
That's my cousins.
well, you got 12 grandfathers.
Right.
I'm a farmer's daughter too, so pig farmer. So no money here.
Yeah. So.
And Ron says,
What's up, Ron?
arriving late tonight, greetings.
Greetings.
And good to see Roland. I may have met the others before too.
I don't know. So
Probably not.
No, Rory and I are nobodies.
Yeah.
We're a couple of
Back
Possible. Depending on how many conventions you've done in the last 30 years.
We're trying. We're gonna start up here in the Northeast, and Roland's trying to get us down south. It's just that,
and I ran from Florida.
Yes, you did. Yeah.
I went down there for my Full Sail graduation. It was beautiful. Love it. Orlando is beautiful. But yes, up here. We got at Three Rivers.
What part were you at?
That's why I was sitting there going, wait, what?
Full Sail's a beautiful campus, and then we went.
Okay, the campus. We'll say, go to Orlando.
I'll take that. I'm like, where did he go in Orlando?
The beach is that way. And we drove. I don't remember which beach we went to, but it was fun. My kids had being in the Coast Guard. I was stationed in Hawaii and Alaska. My kids had been in the Pacific Ocean, but had never been the 3.5 hours drive to the Atlantic Ocean in their entire life. So we drove to Florida to get them in the Atlantic Ocean.
It's cold.
And I had done 3 tours of the Caribbean and Florida, and I was like, I need some snow.
I unfortunately went to a spring break in Fort Lauderdale back in the late 70s.
Did you get an invitation?
Right after I'd watched Jaws. It was a stupid thing to do. Let's go and get in the water. Nope, I'm staying right here.
Barb stuck her little toe in the Atlantic and said, yep, I've been in it.
I'm staying. My ass is on the sand.
Ron says he has more respect for self-made creators and trust fund babies.
We're trying. Yeah. Thank you.
Now, Roland and Barb, did you guys first meet at Malibu, or was it before that? Or
he was my editor.
Yeah, it was at Malibu.
Mm-hmm. I worked on all of the Solitaire books with Jeff Johnson, who did one of my covers for me, by the way. I worked with Dean Zachary, Rick Hoberg, Scott Collins, Jeff Johnson, Derek Robertson of The Boys.
The Boys, yep.
I worked on all of those guys over at Malibu. I worked on Strangers and what's some of the books? I worked on all of them at one point. Mantra.
Yeah, Mantra. Yep.
Prime. I think I did a Prime and Solution. I did Solution with over Derek. So yeah, and that was really my start. It was I'd done in 1989. I did 11 issues of Planet of the Apes on Adventure Comics, which was my in to Malibu.
Over Kent Burrows, right?
Yep.
What was it called? Kent Burrows?
Planet of the Apes.
Oh, okay.
The artist name was Kent Burrows.
Yeah, that was my first big break.
So here's a nifty little coinky dink that Barbara and I have talked about before. Her first break was inking Kent Burrows on Planet of the Apes with Adventure. One of my very first published stories was in it was a backup story in Nexus, published by First Comics, which was penciled by Kent Burrows.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I never knew he worked on Nexus.
Yeah, we talked about this.
Oh, yeah, but I'm old and I forget these things.
Yeah, it was
the Nexus Boys.
So this was a Judah the Hammer story.
Yes.
Nexus, Nexus wasn't in the story. It was a backup story to Nexus, but one of my very first published stories was in Nexus number 70.
Yeah, that's when Steve and Mike were both living here in Madison.
Yeah. Yowza!
Yes. And from Malibu, then Malibu was sold to Marvel. But during the time that I was working for Malibu, I was also started working for Innovation and Now and Warp Graphics. And somewhere along the way, I jumped on board with DC and Marvel and Image. Yes! Oh my God!
Wow! Yeah.
I also did the gray washes for that, and that's a whole story in itself. When Adventure Comics first hired me, Chris Ulm hired me to ink, and he says, "Can you do gray washes too?" And I said, "Oh yeah, absolutely, no problem at all." And when I got home from this is at San Diego Comic Con, when I got home, I said, "What the hell is gray washes? I have no idea what those are." So I went to the library. And I checked out some books on watercoloring and just went from there. I lied through my teeth.
You go to the catalog and look through the cards.
Yeah.
Lied through my teeth and said, "Yeah, no problem."
Yep. Fake it till you make it.
That's right.
Fake it till you make it. That's exactly what I do.
I know what we're doing.
Roland's like, I need a protagonist. Plot. What's plot?
Is that like
attack. What more do you want?
Is that like the opposite of a contagonist?
Contagonist.
Okay, Ron says most cons I've been a guest have been North Carolina, South Carolina, Georgia, and Florida. I've also been a guest and special guest at Oz festivals in New York and Michigan, and an authorial vendor at OzCon International in Cali. And then he also says Roland is going to be at Lake Collecticon with others and me, right?
Yes,
So-
that is correct. Mhm.
Okay,
Well,
how-
I'm thinking about doing Daytona with Roland in September.
September, yeah.
We're talking about it.
yep.
He just asked me today. I'm like, let me take a look into what all that will involve. But it sounds good.
Yeah. Yes, I have been talking to our sponsor at Daytona Beach Comic Con, and he's like, "Hey, what about this?" So I'm like, "Well, let me see what we can make happen." Yeah. So Lake Collecticon is June 6th, and I'm trying to think. I'll be there. John Crowther will be there. Haley Martin, who is doing the artwork for Bear, will be there. Thomas Flormonti will be there.
Twerking Tommy.
Twerking Tommy. I think that's the 4 Silverliners that will be.
You say Brent is or isn't?
Oh yeah, I think Brent will be there too. Yeah. Sorry. So there'll be 5 of us.
It
I
was
swear to God, Tommy is the fastest sinker I've ever met.
Tommy's fast.
He doesn't.
No,
Yeah.
he doesn't.
And the thing about it is, I really think and we talked about this a little bit. I think the digital has really sped him up.
Well,
You
that
know?
certainly has me.
Yeah.
That's for
Yeah.
sure. Like 3 times as fast as I.
So I got to say, I love the way you guys do it. I love the way you guys. Okay, here's 22 pages. Here's the cover. I'm going to ink traditionally. This is a great looking page. I'm going to ink traditionally. Okay, I'm going to ink all these others. Talkies, right? I'm going to ink all these and I'm like, that's great because you can utilize, the technology for the speed and still get some nice looking pages for people to own the originals for.
Pick out all the dynamic pages and ink
Yeah.
those by hand, and then the rest are digital.
Our Dean Zachary cover that Tommy inked traditionally, I got snatched up fast.
Yep.
We had 2 friends here, 2 of my friends here in Western New York that were texting. They told me after they're texting each other. Did you buy it? No, did you buy it? They did. Somebody else got. Roland knows who got it. I don't know who got it, but those 2 friends didn't get it. So it went up fast. So Dean's pencils were incredible, and Tommy did such a great job with the inks, and Mickey Clausen with his colors. That's for the cover, but yeah, the Tommy original went fast. So
there's a Divinity one too, where it was Dean Zachary's pencils, my inks, and Tommy and Mickey Clausen's colors.
And I love that the Kickstarter banner header has the 2 Dean Zachary covers together. It looks
you know what? I like the way that's worked out in the last 2 Kickstarters. Of course, the last one, Peter Clinton, pencil. He was a penciler for both of them. Barb inked one, Tommy inked the other, and then this time Dean does both of them. I'm like, that's really a cool idea to have.
And these guys that are doing these variant covers and variant art, again, I hate to keep using the word humbling, but it's like these guys do their interpretation of our story, and it's really cool to see that they
better than we would have thought.
Yeah,
it's just they think of things we wouldn't have.
Yeah, and they do an amazing job. So it's awesome to have names like that, and them.
The Divinity #1 cover is gone.
Okay.
When you said I know who does it, so here's the problem with the so I've already said I love the add-ons.
Yeah.
But the information for me now is just not very easy to get to. I can tell you, it's gone or not, but there's no easy way for me to figure out who got it. I would literally have to kind of go through every name that that's more than $18 or $25.
Right.
Okay. Was it them? Nope. Wasn't them.
Yeah.
So
there's no simple way to do it.
But I'm not going to complain because we can do the add-ons now. And I don't. Were you here when you were talking about all the add-ons that had gone earlier?
No, they weren't here yet.
Okay, no. So we're just running down the list. So 9 people have gotten Divinity #1 as an add-on. 8 people have gotten Divinity #1 digital as an add-on. 6 people have the Silverline signature book as an add-on. 3 people got Cat and Mouse #1. 2 people got Cat and Mouse 2. 2 people got Cat and Mouse. 2 people got Cat and Mouse 3. 1 person got Trumps, Twilight Grim, Friar Rush, Kalis. So they're just, I love it because this is an easy way for them to say, you know what, I want that one, I want that one, and we can just add it easily. So it's just the information that is accessible to me right now. It's not really easy to get to. Now, at the end of when the thing's all over, you can actually run a report. You can say, give me a report, and then it gets everything in an Excel spreadsheet. Still not easy. Yeah, still not the easiest to but it's you can at least say, okay, there it is. Let me who got it, But this one, I mean, I can see that it's gone, but I can't tell you who got it.
Gotcha.
Which is a little bit frustrating, but it's okay. So still available since we're talking about this, right? So some of the artworks that's still available for the Kickstarter is Divinity 2, page 3 inks, Divinity 2, page 8 inks. The Divinity 2 cover is still available. The Divinity 1 cover is gone, but the Divinity 2 cover is still available.
From Dean Zachary?
The Dean Zachary one.
I'm shocked.
The Ken Hooper Divinity is still available. Pencils for page 7, Divinity #1 is still available. And also pencils for page 12 from Divinity 1 is still available. And that's
if anybody doesn't, if any of you guys don't know who Ken Hooper is, he used to do Aquaman. He did Primal Force with me for DC and some ElfQuest. And I know he's done a lot of other stuff, but I'm just remembering the stuff he did with me.
Yeah. So, it is kind of neat. We talked about, I can't remember if it was on Wednesday or, or on Sunday. What's the most popular? Hey, I think did we get another backer?
Yeah. 120.
Yep. I think we did.
What was that for?
Hold on. It may have been still, no. It was still the one from earlier. Sorry. So the most common, pledge, the most common reward is the early bird with 25 backers.
That was a good deal. Yeah.
The second most common, which will probably beat this one out, is the completest.
That's awesome.
That is
with 24 backers.
Yeah.
Yes, that one's awesome. I love that.
People get the whole grab bag.
Oh, kid and caboodle. Yep. So,
and I gotta tell you, the stretch goals that we have are awesome. I mean,
one that we already sailed by the first one.
Yeah, the flip bookmark.
And that means everybody who backs it and has backed it gets the bookmark.
Everybody at the physical level.
Yes.
Yeah. So that's okay. So these digital people, if you're digital and you want the bookmark, you got to turn it into the physical reward, and then you get it.
The trading cards are awesome.
Yeah. Yeah.
But the patch, we have a Steam Patriot.
I know, it's so cool.
Patch.
Do you have one, Scott? Do you have one that you can hold up?
I do not have
the image.
No, I don't know how I can upload it, but the
I can get it to Steve real quick.
Okay, yeah, send that over. I think I said, Rory and I have been trying to create a bit of an immersive world. We want to get people they kind of feel like they're getting stuff from the Steam Patriots world. So we thought of the idea, down the line, our hero will be part of a battalion, and that battalion will need its flag, an image. There, if you do just a Google search for Revolutionary War flags, there's this division, that battalion, this regiment, all these sorts of things. So and people are kind of hearing this, maybe for the first time, the 1st Continental Boiler Battalion will be created in the Steam Patriots world, and they needed a flag. So I had the idea. Rory had some ideas. We came up with a little bit of Latin. We've been hashtagging Vapor Virtutus, which means steam is power or steam is might. And Dan Hosick, our editor, colorist, letterer,
He's a genius.
He's a
Oh my
genius.
gosh.
Made a great flag. So that flag has been turned into a patch, and people can add their first Boiler Battalion patch. They can get that. Hopefully, if we get to the $6,000 mark, I think that's where it is. And
I was about to look.
got a little
Yeah,
ribbon.
it's at the 6,000.
Yeah.
And if we ever reach level 7 of our stretch goals, Scott and Rory will come to your house and explode a boiler on your lawn.
We'll blow stuff up.
You just pay for the plane ticket, room and board, food. We're there.
We'll get there. Yes,
Yeah,
that's it. Yes.
Oh, that's
So that's
incredible.
the first Boiler Battalion, and it's got, if you count the stars, there's 13 little stars on there.
Mhm.
And Dan went with the 6-point star, which was awesome for Dan. I love it.
Yeah.
He dug deep. Washington's command flag had that 6-point star. It wasn't Betsy Ross chose the 5-point star for the American flag, but that 6-point star was common. So we love to get those deep
Easter eggs.
Yeah, digging deep, and we're trying to create just like the bookmark. We got the Divinity art on one side, which is so cool. It's got her on one side, and then we made a trade card, which was kind of the equivalent at the time of a business card, but it spelled out services they could provide. So we wanted to make it very steampunk and very much late 1700s, and also Easter egg. If people are super fans, can keep getting more information about the story world that might not be in the comic, and so they can learn about about Felix and his dad and his brother. From
Dun, dun, dun.
Where's his brother?
He has a brother. This is the first time hearing about it.
Well, Barb, yeah, you're learning. You're gonna have to keep reading and find out where's Felix's brother. See, because it's Hiram Ward and Sons, plural. Mechanicians of Philadelphia, and I can't take credit. I feel like I heard the word mechanicians somewhere.
Yeah, we've been kicking that around for years now.
So we kind of wanted to make it steampunky and make the word a little longer than mechanicians. They're boiler mechanics of the 18th century, and they can also make clockworks and valves and who knows what else, apparatuses and apparati and contrivances.
Lots of gears.
Gears and cogs. I'm sure there's a difference. And then again, we threw in a reference to Rittenhouse. He was a Franklin contemporary who did clockworks, and he did I think he made an orrery, the solar system.
Orrery?
Orrery.
Ovaltine.
Okay.
Orrery. He made a solar system, and if I remember correctly, anyone out there, please correct me if I'm wrong. He and Franklin did the first transit of Venus across the sun, and then measured our distance from the Earth to the sun by watching that. So that's just kind of totally geeking out on history stuff there. Rittenhouse. So we really want to grab history buffs and try to give those little teeth, those little nods.
History buffs don't read comics.
History. Just keep drinking, Barb.
Okay, we got some comments we got to catch up on, guys. So hold on one second. And Ron, to answer your question, OCD is going to try to be there at Lake Collecticon, but on June 5th, we're getting our second shot. So it all depends on how we feel on June 6th. Because we heard the second
Fully
shot.
vaccinated. Yay.
June 6th, they always say the second shot kind of knocks you down.
Yeah.
Less than a day.
And, yeah, but the con's only one day, so.
Oh, true.
And we kind of make our bread and butter off of the cons. You can ask Roland.
Yeah.
So he says, congratulations on All Accessory Comics. His background is in novels, and he broke out with a graphic novel a few years ago.
It's addictive.
Nice to see more and more ladies in comics. I met June Brigman and interviewed her for our blog. Ladies have been present in comics for decades, but are getting more well-deserved prominence.
Thank you. I agree.
Have been looking over your titles. I like the speculative
fiction
and supernatural aspects of them, and how some of them are coupled with gritty realism.
Yep.
And I so wish I was a creator of memes so that I could support y'all more, somewhat in the same boat.
Yeah.
Well, I really appreciate that,
Me
Ron.
too.
But you know what you can do. Here's the cool thing that you can do, because I totally get that you can't. You don't have the money to get everything you want, especially in this weird economy that we're in right now. You can share.
Yeah.
You can share it to your friends and say, hey, some people I know are doing this really cool Kickstarter. They're trying to raise money for to print the books. They're already done. So how about, going over to their website and taking a look at it and support it if you can, because if you could just your share is so valuable to us.
Yeah, and that's one of the big things that we push about Silverline is that you're not buying on speculation.
Right.
The books are done. They're ready to go to the printer. And basically, all you're doing is buying them.
Yeah.
Yep.
You're not going to have to wait for 6 months to get it, or a year, or whatever.
And they come nice and flat, and they're not bowed, and they're shipped in really good condition. And even when you get awesome artwork,
Yes,
it's in great condition.
Godzilla by Aaron Humphreys.
Yep.
Being part of the Silverline family on our Wednesday Wham show, because it's true. If you join the show, if you watch the show, you get to see art being made,
right.
The comic being created. We like to reveal what's coming up during the shows, and you get to hear what's new, and you get to pick our brains. And just like tonight, you get to pick our brains and find out.
Not much there, but you can try.
My brain isn't very amazing, but like Dean and Barb and Roland, you get to find out, like dive deep into the comic book world. And I even feel the same way. I host a Wednesday show, but really all I'm doing is just being present to keep the conversation going. And I'm surrounded by greatness, even with the likes of Rory, even with Rory.
Rory needs a new name with the beard. Rory, since he retired, he went on Walkabout. He's got this big beard now. He needs another name.
You got the hatchet.
I went out and bought a lot more plaid flannel.
Flannel.
Just
going for the lumberjack look.
Did you get some suspenders?
Yep.
But see, Roland, he needs to get a beard like the one I had in the intro of you.
Roland,
yeah.
I saw that. That was incredible.
So when do I get to see that Roland again?
That is actually one of my favorite pictures with me and my mom. So
if we hit the $8,000 mark, Roland beard mountain.
Yeah, I don't know about that.
Well, we did not mention what comes after the patch, though. We have 2 novels available too.
Can I temper, please?
No.
The Steam Patriots novel. When Rory and I first got the idea, we had it. Let's write it as a book. Let's write it as a novel.
He's doing a caveat here, isn't he?
Yeah,
I really is, because I don't want people's expectations are going to be. And
we're trying to pull that bar down.
So what they're getting is they're getting the original idea for Steam Patriots. So back in 2012, I used the opportunity for a National Novel Writers Month, NaNoWriMo. And what they do is they say, get a 50,000 word book written in a month. It comes out to about 1,600 pages a day. Or pages a day.
Wow.
Words. 1,600 words a day.
It's like Superman writing.
Of a month, yeah. So I tried it, and I think I got about 44,000 words. It was short of the 50,000, but I got a story written from beginning to end. And I really when I'm talking to people who have an idea that they want to write a book, I tell them, do it. It doesn't have to be November. It can be, start it now. Get the thing done, and then you can revise it. So that's what we did. So Rory and I had the idea. We tossed around some ideas. We we plotted some things out, things we wanted in the story, and
Timelined
I just for the month of November just mashed my keyboard and got a book done. And then it sat there for a while, and we had another person interested, another publisher interested, and it didn't pan out. He didn't have the funds to do what he wanted with it. So so then it sat for a while, and I haven't really looked at it since 2012, because then once we had that baseline idea, Rory and I just kept tossing ideas around, and it wasn't until really meeting Roland and his comic class, his storyboarding, and
Roland, it's all your fault.
It really is.
I know.
His sequential art,
epiphany.
that just I was like, Steam Patriots has to be a comic book. There's no choice. It's the visual.
Yeah.
It's it'll fit perfectly. So that's what, again, Rory and I took the kernel of our protagonymous our hero. We took our hero, and we had the similar villain. So originally in that rough draft, if we get to the 7,000 mark, right, 7 or 65, but 6,500, they'll think Felix and Ben Franklin go to England. And there's like a crime underground world in that story that doesn't make it to the comic book. But we, as a fan of things like Star Trek and Star Wars and Lord of the Rings, and you find out like the original ideas. I think it's fun. You find those ideas that the creators had that didn't make the cut or got changed. So Rory and I just kept modifying and really trimming and distilling the story down to what it is now. But that rough...
Which is so difficult to do because we have so much.
Yeah. But it's very different. So people can grab that rough draft and they can see what our original idea was for the story, which is very drastically different than it is now. But you get to see the beginning of it.
And that's at 6,500.
Yeah, from 9 years ago. Written in Ketchikan, Alaska, on the ocean, literally on the ocean. I was in the yacht club building late at night after work, staying up way too late, neglecting my family.
And then at the 7,000 level, we shot for 7,000, because that's what Divinity made the first time around.
Oh yeah,
And the 7,000 level is another digital novel. This one's an actual real life,
written by a skilled writer,
an award-winning.
Yes, award-winning. Yes.
This is one that you could actually pick up on Amazon if you wanted to.
Right. Yeah. So revised and rewritten. Yes, the Steam Patriots. Yeah, Steam Patriots is very, very raw.
Just as clunky as the real world.
I don't know if I have a Martian Sasquatch in it. I have no idea.
At the $7,000 layer you get the R.A. Jones's The Steel Ring, and as Roland said, this is an actual book you can buy off of Amazon. So it's very good, professional writer. So we give it away.
Yes,
if we reach the 7,000.
R.A. so amazing resume. So if you look him up.
Yeah, and so for R.A. Jones fans, or certainly for those who know R.A. Jones or know who he is, this is so the Protectors, when Malibu did them, they're public domain. All of those characters are public domain. From the 1940s, means no one owns them, and you could go do one. Malibu took R.A. did it. R.A. did all the work. He took those characters, made some tweaks to them, and that's how the Protectors were born at Malibu. Well, after all that was, several years later, I'm not sure how old this novel is. It's only a few years old, but this R.A. Jones has taken those Golden Age characters and written a new take on them, and this is what The Steel Ring is. It's the first novel in a series featuring the Amazing Man and I can't think of any of them now.
And the rest.
And all those
That's
others.
how we're getting old.
It's
got it right on the tip of my tongue.
Bando
forget it 5 minutes after we get off the air.
So and so that's what The Steel Ring is. by R.A. Jones. So,
How long does something have-
I should also add though, the 2 PDFs are available to all reward tier levels. Okay, so the digital backers can't get the bookmarks and the patches, right? And the bookmark patch and the trading cards. So if you want those, you've got to up your digital to
Physical.
You got to up your digital to physical. Yes, thank you. But if you're like, nah, or I'm in Australia and I don't want to pay the shipping, I totally get that. You need to get all your friends to back it so you can get Scott Wakefield's Steam Patriot novel and R.A. Jones's The Steel Ring novel, because all of those those will be available to all tier levels.
Cool. I forgot what I
Now-
was going to say now. Yes.
Oh no, I was looking. We're getting trolled, which is a good thing. I like being trolled. Roland,
Yes.
if I'm being trolled, that means we're doing something right.
Yes.
That's
Now-
right. Yeah.
Now, I know you guys kept talking about add-ons, and I couldn't add in. Now, one of the cool add-ons was this
Yes.
right there.
Yes.
But you can't get that one because I've already bought that one.
Oh.
Yay! Thank you.
So,
Yeah.
so
That's
Roland knows I'm very big with the commissions and with
Yep.
the pages. So
Yep.
page number 1 from Divinity number 2.
Yeah.
Thank you.
So-
Yeah, that was a good one.
So I I'd have to go back and do some research. But if you were to ask me to bet, I would probably make this bet. I think that for every Kickstarter that we've done, except for maybe the first one that Steve again, I have to go back and look. Steve has also gotten original art with the with his reward. Generally commissions, but if he's not a commission, he's snagging original art. So yes,
well, of course, because I gotta compete with Tom, because if not, Tom will take it all.
Well, I'll fill you in a little secret on that. I am a perfectionist, so every single physical page that I do, you will find very little or no whiteout on them at all, because I know exactly where the lines are going to go before I put them down. And sometimes I get the backside is too dark. I run them out on blue lines, so that I flip over the page and I run it through again. So sometimes if you flip it over, there'll be artwork on the back.
Yeah,
It's
yeah,
the blue line
Yeah.
pencils.
Matter of fact, I think.
My printer doesn't always print true to the screen, so I'll print it out and I'm like, oh, that's way too dark. So I'll flip it over, lighten it up, and run it through again because I don't want to waste paper. So, yeah. Hey, Bristol 500 cold press paper is expensive. So
Yeah.
So here's page 14 from the book.
yeah.
Oh yeah.
Right now, if you look on the back in really light blue,
Oh yeah, this is the cover. It's the cover for Trump's.
it's the cover for Trump's.
That's gonna be worth millions here in a few years.
So you get page 14.
I love
Of
that.
Divinity.
Of Divinity. Yep.
That angle.
And a too light copy because my eyes are too old to see anything that faint. Of Trump's number 1.
Yeah. I love
pencils.
that. I love that angry guy's face.
Your pencils, yeah. So
That
I do that. There's a lot of my pages that are like that because every penciler. Is there something on the back?
No, there's not.
Darn! I'm sorry.
Roll up like scribble from on the back. Roll mail
on my page.
I'm sorry, Steve.
Look at that.
I'll sandwich it in between two plastic pages here.
Get Chinese food grease all over it.
Oh, now I'm hungry. Thanks.
Yeah.
So they're going to be a little noodle wound on it, right?
Yeah, exactly.
The coffee cup stain. Put the
Your
coffee.
page comes with
It's not really working
MSG.
with the coffee stain.
Yeah, see, I got the add-on and it comes with extra MSG.
Yeah.
The flavor enhancer.
Well, I hope somebody saw that other one and decided, oh yeah, that's what I want to double my the goodness.
Got double the fun.
Yeah, double the fun. That's what I was looking for. Thank you.
Statement of agreement.
All right.
Quick question for you,
So my
Roland.
son's team is right now at 17, right? And they have to make it to 14 to advance to the next stage. They have one match left.
Ooh,
They
no.
are 6 points away from 14th place. So
What are they
So-
playing?
PUBG.
PUBG.
Yeah.
So if they don't make it, then I would say quit sponsoring them. They're not worth it.
I have a quick question for you, Roland. You were talking
me?
about you were talking about the protectors. How long does something have to be out there before it becomes public domain?
70. Wait. It
It's,
all depends on Disney.
wait,
Because I know Sherlock Holmes is public domain.
They keep Disney keeps lobbying. It's Mickey Mouse's birthday,
Yep.
and they keep lobbying to change it.
It has changed. It has changed twice
Yeah.
already because of Disney. Because they do
because
not.
of the mouse.
They do not want the mouse to go public.
And where did they build their empire? Public domain.
Yep.
Sorry, that's a little bit of soapbox there.
I worked.
No,
I
it
worked
is,
for Rat for a while, and it's the scariest company I've ever encountered.
So was it
For who?
75 years?
I worked for the Rat
mouse.
Well,
Oh,
what
did
I'm
you?
reading right now, it says 70 years after the death of the author,
Yeah,
or
right.
if the work of corporate authorship, 95 years from publication.
Wow.
And it'll change because Disney
Yes.
stuff will never. They will fight to keep it
Yes.
from going into public domain.
Right.
What about television or movies? Does that have a public domain?
It depends. If it's original, yeah, it'll be public domain.
In 75 years.
So for instance,
Or 70 years.
The Wizard of Oz, the first couple of Wizard of Oz books are public domain now.
Mhm.
The movie is not because it hasn't been long enough yet, right? So MGM still holds all the rights to their movie. They don't hold the rights to the original
Books.
Wizard of Oz, yeah. But I think the last couple of books, because there's like 15 of them, right? I think the last couple of books are still not considered public domain because they haven't reached their time date yet. So
Now, because it's Oz, L. Frank Baum's Oz works are in public domains. That's how he's able to use his concepts and branch off of them. Because you're talking about Wizard of Oz, and we have like the authoritarian figure right there.
yeah. So maybe he knows if they all are. I know. Of course, it's been a couple of years, but I know that when I did my Wizard of Oz adaptation of the novel, it was not, or it was public domain, but the last 3, 4, 5 books were not. So I'm not sure. I'm not sure how that works.
Because I always thought it was 75 years from the publication of the book.
No, it's from the death of the author.
The death of the author. See, now
Yeah.
I had it completely wrong.
Yeah.
So that's cool to know.
Yeah, hopefully the author doesn't live that long. Oh.
Yeah. Well, or like in the case of I think of like the protectors. If what I now we'd have to get RA on to verify this, but I think the protectors were owned by a corporation, and so they just let those go, right? And that's how they. So they just didn't exist. So there's nobody to say, hey, those are ours, right?
Right.
So they're public domain.
This
They
is
lapsed.
why our Arthur Conan Doyle's books are public domain.
Mhm.
Edgar Rice Burroughs' books
I was
are
just-
public
yep.
domain.
Arthur
you know.
Conan Doyle, all the Sherlock Holmes stuff, right?
Yeah.
It was
Tons of it. And that's why Neil Gaiman could write
Yep.
a takeoff on Sherlock Holmes because it was public domain.
One of our Silverliners, I think C. Michael Lanning said, "Can we stop with the Sherlock Holmes stuff?"
I know, right? Yeah.
I love Sherlock Holmes stuff. So no, C. Michael, you're wrong.
I love Sherlock Holmes stuff.
League of Extraordinary Gentlemen. No, you love Iron Man. Who happens to play Sherlock Holmes.
We will never stop with that. When Iron
I
Man
like all the
becomes
Sherlock. I like all Sherlock Holmes and takeoffs, regardless of whether it has Robert Downey Jr.
Right.
But that one's the best.
That's just a bonus, right?
Yeah.
Yes,
So
that's a bonus.
League of Extraordinary Gentlemen, though, that's all.
that was good.
All of those are
Yeah.
public domain characters.
Dorian Gray.
Was our that one publisher we were talking about.
Yeah.
We were on not the coattails of, but this first major project was Steampunk Holmes.
Yeah, he did a great transmedia. He had an audio book. He
even had a motorcycle made, a steampunk motorcycle.
Yeah, that's pretty.
It
cool.
was wild.
So, but public domain.
Yeah. Well, and I will say this: the book that Peter Clinton is drawing features a public domain character.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, Miss Fury is going to show up in that story, and Miss Fury is a public domain character. So, I wrote the Miss Fury. I wrote the first Miss Fury story after the 1940s. I wrote that in the 90s. And of course, I know Dynamite has done some more adult stories here recently. But yeah, I will be Miss Fury will be showing up in the book that I'm working on with Pete and Tommy and Roberta. Oh, and it's looking so good.
This one's for you, Roland. Some of the later Baum books have had their copyrights extended to 2051.
Okay.
How are they able to do that? How about E. Howard?
Does the
Robert
family
E.
still
Howard's?
have
Is his
rights
stuff?
to it?
Oh.
Yeah, I was gonna say it could be the estate, maybe.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
I mean, I realize that the estates for a lot of these people have gone to court and stuff like that. But if the law says it's after the death of the author, you would.
Scott and Rory are like two high school kids.
What?
Yeah.
They're like two high school kids. They're telling jokes and they hit the mute button and then they try to cover up their mouth.
How about Robert E. Howard stuff? Is his in the public domain now?
I don't know the answer to that.
Oh.
I'm not
He did
real
Conan.
Sure. I don't know. Isn't Marvel doing Conan again? I think Robert E. Howard. I think the estate still owns that. I don't think you can do Conan. Don't hold me to that, but I don't think you can.
Anyway,
Let's see. Hold on. I'm checking real quick.
I know Benjamin Franklin is free reign. George Washington.
Yeah.
free range.
Free range.
Organically grown.
Free range Ben Franklin.
Cruelty free.
And a good life.
Organic.
Just don't send him to Paris.
I
Grain
just think it's an
pen.
interesting subject is all.
Organic
Whole-
patriots.
Free domain. I mean, there's probably like a absolute
Free
gold
domain.
mine of ideas out there that you could get in public domain that
Hmm.
probably is pretty boring. But if you came at it from the right direction, you
Yeah.
could really come up. I mean,
We did have somebody point out to us. They said, "Please, I don't know where they said it, but these people were real people, and they've got descendants."
Yeah.
So that's why we have been adamant about not taking anyone's real accomplishments in our story.
well, I'm talking about like books, like Little Women in Space. You know, we could-
Pride and Prejudice and Zombies.
Yeah.
that's right, exactly right. You know, you could come up with some of these.
Abraham Lincoln Vampire Killer.
Right.
Yeah,
Yep.
yeah, yeah.
I love that book. That's one of my favorite
I heard
books.
I've not seen the movie, but I heard the movie was kind of a dud.
Well,
So-
if you read the book, do not watch the movie.
Yeah.
Yeah. Isn't that
for
like
sure.
the rule for life?
I
For
heard that
most-
about. I heard about that about World War Z too, but the only
Yeah,
one
the
that's
book is
Movie.
way better.
The audiobook is fantastic because they have a cast of characters like Alan Alda, Mark Hamill, because it's interviews.
Mhm.
It's a audiobook for
Good
World
journal.
War Z. Fantastic.
and see that's almost all I have time to. I read at night for my Kindle once I go to bed, but most of my reading nowadays
Audiobook.
is audiobooks while
Yeah.
I'm inking or
Yep.
coloring.
Yep.
So I'll keep that one in mind.
Yeah,
But I mean,
we'll
just
keep-
think about some of the old dry novels that are like boring. But if you just put the right spin on them, you know, public domain things, you could really spice them up and have a brand new book.
The thing too.
Or you could just come up with something new.
right. What's the I'm sorry, the app that is all public domain stuff, the LibriVox.
Yeah, LibriVox.
yeah.
LibriVox.
I re-listen to all the Sherlock Holmes, all the Edgar Rice Burroughs, all the H.G.
But getting
Wells.
a good narrator is
Which I
Sometimes
know,
it's
I had to stop listening to the LibriVox because you listen to the and this is and then you hear the story, and then you hear this voice in this chapter 2. You're like, wait, what? What happened to the first narrator?
Yeah, it's all volunteer narrators,
Yes.
and some of them
And
whistle
then go from
when they're talking too
chapter
close to
1.
the microphones. Show your shrinking sister, swish, and then Silverline, show me.
Or the volume level will go from one chapter to the next, and you're like, what is going? Yeah.
I also found that I was a huge fan of the man or Edgar Rice Burroughs Man of Mars series.
Oh, those are great books.
Yeah, I was a huge fan of those when I was growing up. I just couldn't get enough of them, and I went back to listen to them on LibriVox here a couple of years ago. I'm like, oh my God, can they make this woman any more helpless? And my taste, my damsel in distress, good God, woman, just stand up and sock him or something. My taste had completely changed in the last 50 years. Well, I found it all very, very romantic and exciting when I was a teenager. Now I'm going, oh my God.
Well, we talked about that with love interests. The Fleischer Superman from the 40s, where Lois was just every episode in trouble. Lois, stop getting in trouble.
Yeah. And it's like she intentionally did it.
Right. Oh, yeah.
Like, Lois, don't do that. Watch this. I'm going to go get in trouble. Oh, no, the guy. Oh, he captured me. He captured me.
And see, I'm about as far as the damsel in distress type of woman as you can find. So it really bothers me when like in horror films, when all they can do is go,
why would you run upstairs?
Yes. Or they hit him with a frying pan and then they run and like, again,
right. Beat the crap
and again.
Yeah.
Don't just hit him once and run. Good
You're
God.
like, you don't see blood. Keep beating.
Yeah. Finish the job, for God's sakes.
Now, Barbara,
you've done something wrong.
Barbara, to answer your question, there's about 17 Conan the Barbarian short stories that are public domain.
Wow.
So, right, Barb?
Yeah, but I would not want to tussle with the Robert E. Howard
estate.
Yeah. Even if they are public domain, they're going to
I don't have enough money for those lawyers.
Yeah.
It's just interesting to know.
Yeah. Just create a barbarian, call him Tonan.
Now, what Ron screwed up, he says all 14 L. Frank Baum books are public domain. He was adding wrong dates. So the family allowed his books to go public domain.
Oh, cool. I did not know that.
And then he also says all of Ruth Plumley Thompson's Oz books, the heiress apparent, and I'm not going to read all that, have her books go public domain in 2030.
Sorry.
So, yeah.
Okay, we're coming up on the 10 o'clock hour here. So Roland knows what that means.
Shots! Oh, no.
You don't take shots. I've tried.
Yeah, but it sounded good.
History is great.
Table dance?
History.
What? Wait, Barb, why do you have that immediately accepted?
Right there.
Yeah, she didn't even have to move her arm, did she? It was just like,
she's got her husband pulling it up off camera.
Yeah,
he's sitting right next to my Robert Downey Jr.
Oh, yeah.
Dick's over there with a big bottle of whiskey every time she sets her hand down, right?
Yeah.
I got all my toys up here, including. Look at this. Look at this.
Oh, cool!
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it sits on a little
on that.
Yeah, card game.
Yes, I got to get back on it. Just another thing on my list.
Oh yes, I know what you mean. Okay.
Okay, so
All right, Steve.
Barbara, where are you gonna be where people can see you next?
I haven't made any convention plans for this year, but yet. But I am talking about going in September down to Daytona, possibly. Got to see what the hubs thinks, if we want to drive or fly. For flying, I'll probably come by myself. If we're driving, we're coming as a pair.
That's a long drive, I would
That's
imagine.
a very long drive.
Well, I said, well, we had this whole trip planned out last year. It was going to be 3 weeks to the West Coast, blah, blah, blah. Didn't happen. We still have the money sitting there. I'm like, okay, let's do it this year. Only we'll just make a loop and hit the con.
And don't watch
West
Jaws.
Coast into Florida.
Yeah. That's a big loop.
Big,
So-
nearly out of the way.
We're discussing
don't watch
possibilities.
Jaws.
But if you want to find me online, I am the only Barbara Kilberg on the internet. So it isn't hard to Google me and track me down. So it's
So
K-A-A.
for all of our stalkers, there you
Yes. Oh, I've had a few. Trust me.
And you can find her there. You go. And you can find her most Sunday nights on the Silver Sunday Silverline stream.
I've even had one or two show up at my door.
go. Now, do you show up on the Tuesday or Taco Tuesday Silverline stream, the Wednesday Wham Silverline stream, the Friday Fish Fry Silverline stream?
Nope, just the Silver Sunday.
Wait,
Oh,
can you repeat
okay.
that, Steve? I didn't have my pencil. What did you
I
say?
consider hosting Friday Fish Fry.
Yes.
There you go.
in one of your steam boilers.
Oh,
There you go.
Yes, that's good. That's good.
Hey, you know what?
Okay, I copyright
Next time-
that.
Next time that I'm on a feed with you, Scott, we're going to drink Boilermakers.
Oh,
Barb, you're a genius.
I know.
You could have been doing that tonight.
I know. I
I
know.
know.
This would have been the night for it.
Yeah. Been a long day. Okay, rolling.
Okay, Roland, where the hell
Me.
is everybody going to see you?
Oh, not this weekend, but next weekend, I will be at Suncoast Comic Con, which is south of Tampa somewhere. I will be, Jeff Whiting and I will be down there. We'll be selling comics. I think Dante's going to join us, Silverline intern number 1.
Dante, my favorite. I like him.
Yep. And then, we got a Dante surprise coming up too. So he knows about it, but it's just a surprise for everybody else. And then June 6th, I will be at, that we talked about a little bit earlier with a gaggle of Silverliners at Lake Collecticon. And then October 2nd, I think, I've just been made plans to go to PalmCon. Will be my first ever PalmCon. Yeah,
So
PalmCon.
are you bringing the crystals for Martin?
What do you mean? Martin's the one who bought me crystals.
Well, he had to because of the bet.
Yes, yeah.
But now, since you're going to his convention, you got to kiss his ass and bring him some crystals. That way you get good seating. Okay, I'm going to tell Martin, make sure you're all the way in the back behind the curtain.
right by the bathroom.
Yep. You've never been to PalmCon yet?
I've never been. No,
Oh.
No. So we talked a little bit, I guess 2 years ago before the plague, we talked a little bit about it before when he was going to put it on a boat. Like that could be fun. But
I took for that one.
But no, so I'll be there, and then wait a minute, I got my calendar wrong. I skipped Daytona Beach. Daytona Beach is in September.
You actually beat Tom.
Woohoo! I beat Tom.
What?
Because Trish is tagging everything over here, and Tom likes to see if he's faster than Trish, which he normally is, and she actually beat him.
Yeah. So I forgot October comes after September. So in September, I'll be at Daytona Beach Comic Con.
I was wondering if you skipped it on purpose.
The home convention of Silverline Comics.
Yay!
Daytona, which is the land. Always got to remember that.
Yeah,
Though.
Yeah.
Daytona into land.
Daytona into land.
Tom says he's slow on the draw today. It's okay. I figure you've been having a couple.
You got to give me a win every now and then.
Yeah. Okay. So who is next on it? We got Scott and Rory.
We will be this Saturday at Three Rivers Comic Con, not as vendors or not with a booth, but we will be attending
In costume.
Yeah, with our Rev War hoodies, and we'll be trying to drum up some business for our Kickstarter because it will still be going on, and then returning back north to Buffalo, we'll be at the Buffalo Comic Con, hosted by the good folks from Queen City Bookstore, and we'll be there as well. Again, we will not have a booth or a table, but we'll be attending, and we would love to get down south. Geographically, it is quite a jump from up here to down there. But we'd love to get down there for some of the conventions as well. So that's
Kind of closer than Barbara, though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But again, I'm retired. I can take my time.
Yeah, true.
Maybe hit Natchez, go through the mansions.
Yeah.
Asheville, North Carolina. I haven't been to the Biltmore.
Yeah. Her car has a cane on it.
Do I look like I need a cane?
She gets all the early bird specials.
That's right.
This is true. This is true. There
4 o'clock.
is
Who eats at 4 o'clock?
there is some good aspects to being over 60. I get the AARP.
It's one of my favorite Seinfeld episodes.
Tell that to
I know.
Trish.
Yeah.
Makes his dad
Right.
Like the AARP.
For $1, I'll give you $1.
Discounts over. Yeah, we can go to the local movie theater afternoon matinees for like $4. You know.
Oh yeah, that's worth it. Yeah.
Yeah, well, right now you can do that anyways because there's nobody there.
we get the over 60 discount. So
Wow. We've been going to what's the BJ? What's the one we've been going to? The one at Altamont Mall. What's that one? Steve?
I have no clue. That's way far away from me.
We've been going to the one at Altamont Mall.
I know what you're talking about, but near me.
I forget what brand it is.
To the one you and I went.
It's a Regal, isn't it? A Regal?
Regal. No, because the Regal's the ones that stopped selling Coke, isn't it?
I have no clue. The last time I went to a movie theater was the Wonder Woman.
Really?
Yes.
So for those of you who are going to go see A Quiet Place 2, my son's car is in that movie because it was filmed in Akron, New York, and Niagara Falls, Western New York. And we bought the car from our friend Kyle, who was an extra. But he's almost certain he is not in the movie. But the car is.
Wow.
So Kyle and his car, they really wanted a car, a late 90s, early 2000s car. And he had an 03 Accord. And we just bought it for my son. And that car, there's a scene where you see these two bridges. Those are the Grand Island bridges. They're over the Niagara River. And the car is there with the door open. So the car is famous.
Yeah,
that's my claim to fame.
The car is more famous than us.
Yeah, the car is famous.
I need to see some screenshots.
A Quiet Place 2.
Yeah.
I'll find it's on the
That's
trailer,
right.
isn't it? If
Right.
you look it up on, I'll find the screenshot. The car is there with the door open with no Kyle. Kyle's not,
Right.
but the car is there.
Cool.
Yeah.
And he's gonna walk around. That's my car.
Yeah.
That's my car. Right there.
He's gonna be driving down the road. Hey, my car.
This car. Trying to pick up ladies. This car was in A Quiet Place
Recognize
too.
this?
Yeah, that's my claim to fame. That's it.
Hey, my claim to fame is I know all of you guys. So okay, so
Steve, where are you going to be?
I'm gonna be at home. Oh no, let's see. I'm gonna talk about what's going on this weekend. This weekend in Pensacola is Pensacon on the 21st
right.
through the 23rd.
Thomas Flormonti will be there.
Oh, see, that's good. Maybe
Yep.
he could have, if I would have known that, had him give me a little in, because we never received messages back from them.
Oh, they're terrible about responding. I will tell you that.
Also this weekend, I don't know if it's Saturday or Sunday. It wasn't wrote down on my note. You got Zeo Rangers, where you get to meet a couple Power Rangers at Acme Comics in Longwood.
Original Power Rangers?
Real Power Rangers. I don't know if they're original.
Wait, real?
It's the Zeo Rangers. Sorry.
Oh,
They're all Power Rangers.
Decades. Then, yeah.
Oh, look, now Tom's trying to make a point, and he beat you about Pensacon.
I'd already posted Pensacon a while ago.
Oh, okay.
I beat him 2 days, or what, at the beginning of the month.
Oh, okay.
Acme's Sunday.
Okay, so you can meet the Zeo Rangers Sunday at Acme Superstore in Longwood. Okay, other than that, I don't know if we're going to go to either one of those things, because I'm not a big Power Rangers fan. So you will see us next week when we have Jeff Kaufman on the show. Roland might know him as one of the local lawyers in town.
Oh, you know what? I've never met. I know who you're talking about, but I've never met the guy. I know exactly who you're talking about.
But he's not going to be on the show talking about lawyer stuff. He's going to be on here talking all things geek. He has some comic books that he's put out. So we're going to be talking about that, because a lot of people don't know that side of Jeff. And he's actually really big into it all. Okay. So yeah, well, that's because
I told you they're like little high school kids sitting in the back row.
Well, see, he's laughing because I said a lawyer and Roland would know him.
Yep.
Okay, I have a question for Mr. Wakefield about his Drake Hollander material. Yeah. How much of your inspiration for that character came from the first 15 seconds of the video take on me released by? Okay.
It must have been deep in my subconscious, Mr. John Rowe, because I can't say to put the two together as even a thing. But John, I do know John Rowe. He is an excellent supporter of Silverline. He is a wonderful individual, stellar individual. But my Drake Hollander comic was featured serialized in very short 2 to 3 pages in my motorcycle magazine, Motoclectic, and that story hopefully will continue in some fashion or another. So, John, I'm glad you brought that up, but it is full of motorcycle and machine action. So, John, you're asking some obscure questions.
Another John that we know likes that song quite a bit. John Medic.
Oh, yeah.
I cannot stand that song. I mean,
we draw him into that.
I just cannot stand that song.
I do know that John Rowe, the one who just commented, that he will have a special place in the Steam Patriots series. He was a supporter before the Kickstarter. He was an early adopter. So we'll talk about that later, Roland, but he will have a special place in the storyline somewhere, probably getting killed. I think
the boiler is going to explode on him, right?
With him.
Yes, John is a wonderful, wonderful person.
Oh, you've seen those T-shirts that writers wear, right? Don't piss me off. I may kill you in my next story.
No, John hasn't pissed me off. He's been greatly supportive, but I think he wants to be killed, die a horrible death.
It's like the guy in Cat and Mouse. We did a drawn in Cat and Mouse issue 2 or 3, I forget which one. And I said, well, here are the options. And the guy said, oh, I'll be this guy. I'm like, you don't understand what he does. He goes, I'm okay. I'm good with that.
Okay.
I'm like, okay.
Isn't that Tommy's whole premise of his comic?
Tommy.
He like draws in people that he knows.
Oh yeah, but
Oh yeah, on the Zomboy.
yeah, Zomboy. Tommy,
Yeah.
yeah, Tommy's is very G-rated, so but his friends are villains, right? They're all the bad guys.
Yeah, I think they're a little bit of everything. Yeah.
Yeah.
Although I'm
Thank you
upset
for
with him
watching.
because I've known him for years and I still haven't made it into one of them.
Well, I've known you for years, Roland, and all I said is I want my left foot in it. Remember?
Yeah, I remember you saying that. Yeah.
I'm not asking for the whole thing because I know I'm big enough. I take up like 2 pages. Just
A
a
lot
foot.
of ink.
I just want 1 foot. That way, like your son about the whole car thing. I go around. That's my foot. Okay, I'm gonna finish going off about where we're gonna be. We're gonna maybe possibly be at Suncoast Comic Convention also
Cool.
over Memorial Weekend if we can get them to respond. They respond back and then they don't respond for a while. So if not, then Lake Collecticon.
And he was at your show.
I know he was at my show. And Lake Collecticon, possibly depending on how we feel after the second shot. And then if for sure we will be at Central Florida Comic Con in Lakeland. As you can see in the tag, she beat you, Tom. She's been sitting there dying to hit enter. But we will definitely be there. It is what, the 12th? No, she's not going to have that information for me, but that'll for definite. If we don't make it, I'm pretty sure we'll be at Lake Collecticon because we don't miss Greg's shows.
Right.
So that should be the first appearance of us, and the second appearance should be at Central Florida. I'm
Cool.
surprised you're not at Central Florida.
I don't know. I don't guess I know about it.
Well, usually he has it at the beginning of the year.
Who's he? Who's
Ben Penrod.
I don't know him.
Why is this person?
You got
Is
to
that the
whisper
guy-
a little louder.
That wasn't me whispering. That was
No,
That
I
was
know
those
one of the high
two.
schoolers. Yeah,
it
yeah,
was those down there. That's
those guys. Is he the same guy who does the Tallahassee show?
no.
Because I can't get the Tallahassee show guy to answer me either.
No, Ben answered. He gets busy, but like I said, usually.
Oh, I don't know that I've emailed him, so I shouldn't be saying that about Ben because I don't know that I've reached out to him.
Ben does Awesome Con and Alaska Comic Kuza Con.
Alaska comic?
Yeah, Ben is out there. He's big, but he holds it at the RP Funding Center there in Lakeland. So, and he's always been good to us.
I need to go to Alaska Comic Con.
Yeah.
Not as good as certain promoters of like the Land and Daytona. They're really nice to us.
Yes.
Is it Alaska?
Yeah.
The state, Alaska?
Yeah, Alaska.
It's like Anchorage, or do you know?
I don't know. It's Alaska.
Alaska.
It's a little state. It's
easy flyover.
So-
You want to talk about a long drive from up north to here? Try to go from Florida to Alaska.
Yeah.
Ooh.
I've gone from Buffalo to Alaska. I've done
Oh, man.
That's still closer.
it. We've gone from Seattle to Ketchikan. 6 days on the boat.
I've been everywhere.
Okay, so other than that, that's where we'll be. Come join us next Thursday at 8 Eastern for Jeff Kaufman. I'm sure we're going to have all kinds of cool stories with him. And we got another thing from John for anyone reading. The Kickstarter package put together for Divinity was fantastic. Just what comic lovers want. Silverline does a great job.
Thank you,
Thank you.
John.
Thank you. Thank you.
John.
Thank you.
John is amazing and an amazing individual. We love
Thank
him.
you, John.
They're
Means a lot.
amazing as long as I still keep getting my artwork and stuff.
You mean your artwork not all bent up?
All my artwork not all bent up, or I'm going to tell you.
Scott and Rory, they didn't see that.
No.
You showed that before they jumped on.
I'll show them after we log
Yeah.
off.
Okay.
But
one night's trashing is enough.
Exactly. But yeah, which Kickstarter was it that I backed with that Punisher? I totally forgot about the Punisher because it's like almost took a year to get it.
Red Star's out there too. I backed
It
Red
was
Stars.
it was the Kalis because the artist was in Argentina, right?
Just as COVID hit.
Yeah, it was Kalis artist, and he's in Argentina.
No, this was before COVID.
No. It was because we were shipping them out right like February, March when all this stuff was happening.
Mhm.
Right, that's when we were running that Kickstarter, and that package got caught up in the COVID mail mess. It literally was stuck in Argentina for months upon months. He came up to the way he did it. It's the way he ended up getting here. And I thought I told you all this. I may have. It came to Winter Springs, which is where I live. It came to Winter Springs twice. Okay. And it returned to Argentina all during the plague. Right. So once he got it back, he finally said, I'm going to visit my son in California in December. Can I just bring it with me and mail it from there? And so he brought it with him, mailed it to me from California, and I got it just like that. So, yeah.
I was trying to see if it was on my wall.
It's Chernowski.
No, that's Aaron.
Okay.
It wasn't that one. It was Chernowski.
No. Yeah, I know. I was trying to see if I had it up. You got to remember, my wall is huge, Roland.
Yeah, no, I know.
So I got to look and see. And I have so much other artwork that goes on it that I don't have enough wall space.
Let's see if I can find it fast while you talk.
Oh well, I was pretty much done.
You were done.
No, I was just saying that's how much I sit there, and I'm a big Silverline supporter.
Yes, you are.
I totally even forgot about it. You hand delivered it to me.
Yeah. Yep. I remember that.
I believe you hand delivered it to me at Lake Collecticon.
I can't remember where. Can't remember where it was.
Like I said, I think you gave it to me at Lake Collecticon, but I'm not worried about it. I have plenty of artwork that has to go onto the, because I still got many. It's like the comic pages. I'm going to have to move them over to a different wall. Just have a wall of comic pages.
Oh yeah, cool. Yeah.
Okay, guys. Anything else before we sign off?
No, I just want to thank everybody for supporting the Kickstarter. And if you can't purchase, then please share our links to all your friends. That's just as important.
Yes.
Yep.
Thank you, Barb. Yeah, we've been humbled. This is our first go. Rory and I are total noobs, and we are humbled and amazed by the support. So and like I said, being paired up with Barb's title, it's amazing. We feel very, very special.
Thanks for loading your coattails.
Yeah.
Oh, well, thank you.
So, yeah,
I'm excited about yours.
Just share, because the more we get, the more goodies people get.
Yeah,
the extras, and it's not more money. It's just for people, for the backers. Everybody gets extras, the goodies. So share.
Yeah, so we've got rewards, stretch goals planned up to $7,000. But Steve, I would tell you, I would love for today is Thursday, right? So I would love come Sunday for Barb to be screaming at me, "What are we gonna do? What's our next stretch goal is gonna be? I don't know what we're gonna do." I would love for that to be a problem come Sunday. So
shots.
Now, the one thing before we leave, and I don't remember it being mentioned. When does this Kickstarter end?
May the 30th.
30th. Yep.
That's Sunday while I am at Suncoast Comic Con.
It's only been live since
a week.
Yeah, a week. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's only been live for
a week today.
Except
a week yesterday.
Who got it on the secret launch Wednesday night. Yeah. The Sunday show gets to wrap. The Wednesday show gets to launch, and the Sunday show gets to wrap. Right.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Yeah. So Sunday the 30th.
Once again, for everybody who watches this later on, Trish put the Kickstarter in the comments. Click on it and go join it. You know, hold on, Roland. I gotta do one more picture that I sent you last time that you were on the show. Let me see if I can find it, and that way I can show these guys.
Oh no! There's no telling what
Nobody knows you.
I say. There's no telling what picture you dug up.
Oh no! I just gotta figure out which text messages it was in. I think it was a Roland and Trish one. There we go. Hold on. Give me 1 second and I will pop it up because you liked it when I showed it to you.
Huh.
Oh, don't work. Look at you all. You're scared now.
I am scared.
Just because I find the awkward pictures of you all the time and post them out there for everybody.
Speaking of awkward, has anyone watched our update video? It's pretty good. One take. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Is that roll? What's going on?
No, but if you look at Grover's arm.
Yep, I see. He's got one of these. He sure
Yeah,
does.
He's got one of those.
Yep. Grover says make his Silverline.
All right.
Yes.
And then on that, guys, we are out of here. You guys can hang out for a minute. And we will catch you.